Kanye West in pain as Kris Jenner shuts down his apology tour for good. What happens when the most chaotic man in Hollywood tries to say sorry and the most powerful momager on the planet looks him dead in the eyes and says, absolutely not? Well, folks, buckle up, because today we are diving into one of the most jaw-dropping, popcorn-worthy, did that really just happen moments in recent celebrity history. Kanye West, rapper, designer, controversy magnet, and apparently now aspiring apologizer, tried to walk back years of explosive drama with the Kardashian-Jenner empire. And Kris Jenner, the woman who turned her family into a billion-dollar media machine, shut it down. Cold. No handshake, no Hallmark moment, no tearful reunion hug, just a door and the sound of it closing firmly in Ye's face. Welcome to Celebrity Watchdog, where we sniff out every last detail so you don't have to. Quick favor before we go any further. If you are loving this energy, hit that subscribe button right now. Over 92% of viewers watching this have not subscribed yet. It is free, it takes 1 second, and it means the absolute world to us here at Celebrity Watchdog. Thanks so much if you just did that. Now back to the show. Let us start from the very beginning, because honestly, context is everything here. For years, and we do mean years, Kanye West has had a turbulent, headline-shredding relationship with the Kardashian-Jenner family. He married Kim Kardashian in 2014 in a ceremony so extravagant it made the Louvre look budget. They had 4 children together. He made jaw-dropping music. He also made jaw-dropping statements, the kind that made publicists across Hollywood reach for their antacids. The divorce in 2021 was messy, public, and painful. But even after all of that, the man had one last card to play, the apology card. And ladies and gentlemen, Kris Jenner snatched that card right out of his hand, tore it in half, and put the pieces through a shredder. Now here is where it gets really interesting, so stay with us. According to insiders close to the situation, Kanye reportedly made several attempts to extend an olive branch to the Kardashian-Jenner family, particularly to Kris. Now let us think about this for a second. Kris Jenner is not just Kim's mom. She is the architect, the mastermind, the woman who built an empire out of a reality show and sheer force of will. She manages careers, controls narratives, and has probably forgotten more about brand protection in a single morning than most people learn in a lifetime. If you want peace with the Kardashians, you do not just text Kim. You go through Kris. That is the front door. And Kanye, to his credit, apparently knew that. But here's the thing about Kris Jenner. She did not get to where she is by being sentimental. She got there by being strategic. And from where she was standing, accepting Kanye's apology tour was not a strategic move. It was a liability. Because every time Kanye's name gets attached to something, drama follows like a shadow. And Kris Jenner is not in the business of importing drama. She's in the business of controlling it. Hold on tight, because what happened next changes everything. Sources suggest that Kris made it crystal clear. Through channels, through representatives, and through the kind of icy silence that only the truly powerful can weaponize, that Kanye's attempts at reconciliation were not welcome. Not now, not like this, and certainly not on his terms. Because that is the other thing people tend to forget about Kanye West. When he apologizes, he still makes it about himself. The apology tour was less, I am sorry for the pain I caused, and more, let me explain my journey to get to this apology. And if you know Kris Jenner at all, you know that's not going to fly. The woman runs meetings. She does not sit through monologues. Think of it this way. Imagine you accidentally flooded your neighbor's kitchen. You wait 2 years, then you show up at their door, not with a plumber or a check, but with a 15-minute speech about your personal growth. That's essentially what Kanye attempted here. And Kris Jenner is the kind of neighbor who will listen to approximately 45 seconds of that speech before politely but firmly closing the door. And the fallout? Oh, the fallout is something else entirely. Word spreading through Hollywood circles is that Kanye was genuinely blindsided by the rejection. And look, that tells you something important about the man's self-awareness. Because from the outside looking in, it wasn't exactly a mystery that Kris would keep her distance. After everything that went down, the public outbursts, the alarming social media posts, the moments that made even casual observers wince, anyone with a clear view of the situation could have told Kanye this was not going to be a warm welcome. But Kanye West has never exactly been known for reading the room. The man lives in a room of his own design, with rules only he understands. And here is the real kicker. The kids. North, St. Chicago, and Psalm are right in the middle of all of this. And while neither side has made any direct public statements about custody complications arising from the recent tension, those who follow this story closely know that the relationship between Kanye and Kim, and by extension the entire family, has never fully stabilized after the divorce. Every time things start to look calm, something ignites. And Kris Jenner, as a grandmother and as a matriarch, is not about to let a poorly executed apology tour disrupt whatever fragile peace currently exists for those children. But wait, because Kanye didn't just stop there. Reportedly, Kanye's camp was pushing for some kind of formal sit-down, a conversation, a clearing of the air. Sources say the idea was floated of having Kanye and Kris meet in a neutral setting, quiet, private, no cameras, to talk things through. A reasonable request on paper, except nothing involving Kanye West ever stays on paper. His world leaks. It always leaks, whether through his own social media, through people in his orbit, or through the sheer gravitational pull of his celebrity. Things get out, and Kris Jenner knows that better than anyone. So here is what Kris Jenner was actually looking at. Option A, she sits down with Kanye, the meeting leaks, the headlines write themselves, Kim gets dragged back into the spotlight in the worst way possible, and the family's carefully managed public image takes another hit. Option B, she says no, Kanye is upset, maybe there is some noise about it for a few weeks, and then life moves on. For Kris Jenner, that is not even a difficult calculation. Option B wins every single time. The woman plays long ball chess while everyone else is still figuring out checkers. Now, here is the part that really hurt Kanye, and we do not say that lightly. The rejection was not loud, it was not dramatic. There was no blowout fight, no leaked voicemail, no explosive text exchange published on a fan account. It was quiet. And sometimes, quiet is the loudest thing of all. Kris Jenner did not need to make a scene to make a point. The point was made simply by the absence of a yes. And for a man like Kanye West, who has built his entire identity around being impossible to ignore, being ignored, or worse, being quietly dismissed, is its own kind of devastating. People underestimate how much Kanye craves acceptance from the people he has pushed away. It is the central tension of his public life. He alienates, and then he aches. He burns bridges, and then he is surprised by the smoke. The Kris Jenner situation is not an isolated incident, it is a pattern, and the pattern is becoming impossible to overlook. Let us talk about what this means going forward, because this story is far from over. Within Kanye's circle, there is growing concern, and we mean genuine, behind-closed-doors concern, that this rejection from the Jenner-Kardashian family could send Ye spiraling in a direction nobody wants to see. Because history has shown us that when Kanye feels rejected or cornered, he does not retreat quietly. He reacts publicly, loudly, and in ways that tend to create new problems faster than the old ones can be resolved. The people around him have reportedly been trying to keep him focused, keep him in the studio, keep him locked into creative work as a pressure valve. Smart move. Creative output has always been Kanye's most productive outlet. But whether that holds is another question entirely. On the flip side, Kris Jenner has reportedly moved on from the entire situation with the kind of efficiency that is almost unsettling. One source described her attitude as already filed under resolved, which honestly is peak Kris Jenner behavior. The woman does not ruminate, she executes. She has a business to run, a family to protect, and a calendar full of things that are far more important than managing the feelings of her ex-son-in-law. And in this corner of the ring, the scoreboard is pretty clear. Let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture here, because there is a genuinely fascinating cultural conversation happening underneath all of this celebrity drama. We are watching, in real time, the limits of what an apology can actually accomplish when trust has been broken at a fundamental level. Fame does not entitle anyone to forgiveness. Power does not guarantee a second chance. And genius, real, undeniable musical genius, which Kanye absolutely possesses, does not cancel out the damage caused by years of erratic, harmful behavior. Kris Jenner's refusal to engage with the apology tour is not just a personal decision, it is a statement. It says that accountability is not a conversation, it is a track record. And Kanye's track record, at least in recent years, has not done him any favors in that department. The music world still respects him, the fashion world still watches him, but the family? The family has moved on. And in Hollywood, when Kris Jenner moves on, you are officially in the rearview mirror. One final thing before we wrap this up, and this might be the most important point of all. None of this means Kanye is finished, not even close. The man has survived more career obituaries than anyone in the music industry. He has been written off, counted out, and dismissed so many times that at this point, underestimating him is practically a tradition. But surviving professionally and healing personally are two very different things,
And what this Kris Jenner chapter reveals is that Kanye's personal life, the relationships, the family, the human connections that exist outside of the spotlight, is in a place that no amount of platinum records or fashion shows can fix. The apology tour is dead. Kris Jenner made sure of that. And Kanye West, one of the most talented and complicated figures of his generation, is left to reckon with what that means. Not on a stage, not on an album, not on social media, but privately, quietly, in the way that all of us eventually have to reckon with the consequences of our choices, celebrity or not. That is all for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. It genuinely means everything to us here at Celebrity Watchdog. Stay sharp, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next one.